What's up everybody, man, back looking to a brand new video, and I don't have as much time to record and edit today as I would have liked. So rather than putting time into making a video that I won't be able to get out today, I figured I'll just make a small little one. Now that we've made it to roughly the mid-season finale of 2020, I figured I could give it a shot giving the first half season a review. So for those of you who don't know, 2020 is the massively popular sequel to 2019, which a lot of people didn't really like. On a personal note, I thought 2019 was actually a highlight in the show of Planet Earth. We haven't seen anything quite like it, at least on a personal level, in quite a while. It was a bit of an upswing for me. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, and a lot of people view that season as overall pretty bad. But again, on a personal note, I quite enjoyed what they were doing that season, and I wish they had kept that up with the future season. Because now that we're in 2020, I just am not really enjoying the show anymore. There's not a lot to keep me engaged at the moment. A lot of it is just stuff that either frustrates me that the writers are going that route, or it's just stuff that I feel like it's retreading ground we've covered, or it's like we should have learned these lessons by now, and the fact that we haven't, I don't know, whatever. I'm not writing the show, so I don't really get a choice. A lot has happened in 2020. Like, so much has happened that I don't even think I'm going to be able to cover all the major plot points, so if I miss any, leave them down below and I can try and weigh in the comments or whatever, because there's a lot that I'm going to miss here, I have a feeling. It's just absurd how much has gone on this season. One thing that I found interesting was that the impeachment storyline kind of just ended. It got a lot of attention at the end of last season, and then it just kind of like resolved really unsatisfyingly, so there wasn't a lot of attention given to it this season. I know a lot of people didn't get the outcome they were hoping for. It actually went exactly how I thought it would go. With the new season starting, I wasn't expecting too much play, but it did get a little bit of mention at the beginning of the season, and then it kind of just has been dropped since then. One thing that I had actually forgotten about was the World War III storyline. That one happened really fast. It was like a 3-episode arc. It seemed really intense at the moment. I feel like they could have given that a little more attention than they did. Seemed like the writers just threw that in there so that there could be a big scare moment at the beginning of the season, and I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cheap. It really didn't lead to anything. At the moment, it just seems like something that just kind of came out of nowhere and was big for a little bit, but then went away. So I thought that was a kind of a cheap shot on the writer's part. Same with the Australia fires. That really should have been given a lot more attention than it was, but that storyline was one that, especially with the American storyline, a lot of people didn't really acknowledge the greater issues at stake there. And again, I wish the writers had done a better job making people a little bit more aware about what was going on, but that again was just kind of brushed under the rug. And I don't even know if I have all these in the right order, because again, so much craziness has happened this season. Going off the top of my head, it's just kind of hard to keep track. One thing that I really appreciate is the COVID storyline. I like how that was foreshadowed at the very end of last season. If you were really keen, you kind of got a sense of what was going on. Like at the very, very tail end of last season, it got the slightest bit of attention. I thought that was really cool because it foreshadowed the coming conflict, which has been the primary conflict, in my opinion, of the season. And it's been really interesting to see the way that one has developed. I'm not a big fan of it personally. I think it slows everything down a bit too much. It takes away, in my opinion, from what worked in 2019. A lot of the stuff that was really awesome in 2019 was primarily entertainment based, and a lot of that has come to a grinding halt due to the COVID storyline, so I wish they would wrap that one up a little sooner, but it sounds like they don't have any intentions of doing that, as it has been foreshadowed to make a return in the back half of the season. We'll have to see if that's true or not, but at this point it seems like it will. I found it really interesting the way that people responded to it, because you have a lot of different characters responding in very different ways. You had some groups of people just being weird, protesting outside of ice cream shops, just kind of showing how arrogant humankind can be. I wish that they wouldn't write people like that, but I know that's never going to happen. They always want that kind of conflict from within, so they're always going to put that stuff in the show. And yeah, that was kind of dumb. And then you had a lot of people who were like making memes of it and stuff like that, and that stuff was all right. I liked when people were making jokes about it because that was a little more light-spirited. And then you had a lot of good stuff, like musicians coming out and doing stuff for that, which was cool. It was cool to see the way that they tried to do the global impact. The murder hornet stuff didn't really get any attention at all. It was just like, hey, murder hornets are here, and then they were gone within like an episode. I don't know why they did that. Again, that feels like this whole season has just been a bunch of sucker punches trying to get people. If ratings are dipping, I get it. I get that you got to do crazy stuff like this, but I don't know. I feel like ratings have been steadily boosting over the past like million years, so I just wish we wouldn't do stuff like that anymore. But yeah, there's just been a lot of like sucker punches that come out of nowhere and then just have no resolution. Like what was the resolution with the murder hornets? There was like a video of a praying mantis eating one, and that was just it. That was all that we ever saw. I don't know. It's just another one of those things that they threw in there. It felt really shoehorned into the season, and they should have either given it more time to shine or just cut it entirely. One thing I personally found interesting was kind of the background drama while everything else was going on. Like the background drama between movie studios and movie theater studios. I thought that was really cool because it shows a different aspect of things that we weren't anticipating going in, because you knew there was going to be like a human response to things where people were getting upset that that they had to stay indoors, but one thing I didn't ever see coming was that we would see the ramifications of that with things like movie theaters. And you know, you have AMC who was fighting Universal, and that's been crazy. Has that been resolved? That storyline seems like no one's talking about anymore, but I don't actually think there was a resolution on that. I think they just kind of left it open-ended, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. But that was cool. I liked seeing stuff like that. It's the entertainment stuff that always catches my attention, and so I wish we got a little bit more of that, especially because they've halted all the in-universe movies. There's just no more of them, so I wish we got more of that stuff going on. All the writing stuff, that seems a bit excessive. I'm not currently a fan of what they're doing with the show at the moment. I wish there was a more level-headed approach, and I just wish that people would learn their lessons a little faster. The fact that they're still writing all these problems into the world, I don't think they're ever going to stop that. And I think the protests are pretty cool in and of themselves. I like the message that they're trying to push. I like when the show pushes themes like that. I think a lot of things like that need to be highlighted more, but I thought the rioting was a bit excessive. I didn't really enjoy that aspect of it. As for like the massive oil leak in Russia in the Arctic Circle or whatever that was, that did not get as much play as it definitely should have. That was like a big thing that they introduced out of nowhere, and again, that was just another one of those gut punch, sucker punch moments that it doesn't seem like there was any resolution to it. In fact, I don't even know what's going on with that storyline currently. That's because I don't really tune into the Russia side of things. Like I said, I watch the American version because English is my language, so that's the version of the show I watch the most. But I don't know, that seems like it could be a big issue that no one's really talking about. One thing that I am excited for is the upcoming Spider-Man Miles Morales. That one looks awesome. Should be really cool when the characters finally can interact with that game. And I do like that they're doing this whole new generation thing with their consoles, as they do every couple seasons. They'll be like, hey, the new technology's in, and you know, you just get to see the way the characters interact with all that stuff. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see the way they play these games and the way the games play out. That sounds like good stuff. Again, I'm excited for the entertainment side of things to kick back up. That was what made the 2019 season so great for me, and so I'm excited to see a little bit more of that. But at the moment, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get much more of that, because again, this whole COVID story arc, it seems like that's the big bad for this season. Like, that's the big boss, and so I think we're going to have to wait for the big boss to finally die out, and then we'll finally start getting some more of that entertainment stuff back that made the show so great last season. But who knows? Overall, if I had to rate 2020 the first half season, I would probably give it like a 2 out of 10. It's definitely been my least favorite season I've endured. I don't enjoy watching it. I wish they would just get to the good stuff again, because I don't know, this season really hasn't given me too much to enjoy. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to agree with me on that one, because I think 2019 was such a good season that coming off of that one, again, for me personally, going into 2020, it just feels like a huge dip for the show. So we'll see. Maybe they'll get a new showrunner, maybe something different will come along, but I'm not expecting any big changes anytime soon. And there's a lot that still needs to happen in the back half season that it will be interesting to see the way they resolve that. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that they will introduce in the back half season that will throw everybody off. A lot more sucker punches ready to come. We'll just have to see, man. It's all crazy at the moment. The show has certainly gotten more interesting, that's for sure. So let me know down below, have you guys seen 2020? What do you guys think about it? Are you as big a fan of 2019 as I was? Was I the only one who liked that season? I think it's underrated. I think a lot of people slept on that season, and especially now that we're in 2020 and we have to watch this season and just stick with it until it's done, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that the 2019 season was actually pretty cool. But you'll have to let me know. See you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out.